I think Stop TV, you're welcome once more, and we're happy to listen to you and see how best we can collaborate or to work together. Yes, in your team, I'm familiar with the Isiado. But yes, you know, TV control programs, TV program manager. Let me see you. And this for the HIV, yes, but for TV, for me, it's the first time. Do you engage MPs on any TV initiative?
No. This is an engagement. Thank you.
You know that I was a politician. No, you're welcome. So, Chairman, please go ahead.
Honorable Chairman, we do
you have to. I don't know how you formed this agenda, but you wanted Dr. Sebastian Sandari to speak on the Parliamentary TV Caucus. Is a caucus you probably would want to form on an existing caucus and stuff like that. And when you were in front of the committee, caucus matters, but when you were in the committee, the constitution is speaking, the constitution is what matters, and the committee speaks and it's final, you understand? So therefore, when you were drawing the agenda, you should have consulted. Chairman, you didn't consult, you understand?
Oh.
So you would have to speak about your group and what you have to do. So among other things, collaboration with Parliament, the committee, and then if there's purpose, then we'll sing a nice note for you over there. So your agenda is absolutely rejected, and you may proceed to make a presentation. As and when you want any of your members to speak, defer to them, and they will speak in your presentation. You have a few minutes to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will take us through two things, after which our program manager of the National TV Control Program will also speak on the. So let me take the opportunity first to introduce the partners that are engaged in the Federal Committee we have today. We have the Stop TV Partnership, which is a global movement formed in 2000 with an office in Geneva. We are our partners, we are our founders. The Stop TV Partnership Ghana is also formed in 2004, and it's a national multi-sectoral comprising of CSOs, academia, private sector, and then the National TV Program, which is a movement towards ending TV in Ghana, aimed at supporting the national TV response. It's an umbrella national advocacy platform, mobilizing communities to find TV, and placing TV on the Ghana's high political space. It is important to also mention that Stop TV Partnership Ghana is a member of the CCM of the Global Fund in Ghana. Next partner here is a good engagement. Ghana CCM's country coordinating mechanism of the Global Fund. CCM Ghana. As much as possible,
I'm not sure you came here to confuse us. So be very clear with anything. Yeah, we use procedures and stuff. If I want to make you happy, I'll make you happy. So I don't want to come in your party. Please make things very easy for us. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm sorry for that. So we also have the Ghana National TV Voice Network, which was also formed in 2015, and basically is a voice of persons affected and affected by TV in the country. They are focusing more on the TV treatment and care, reduction of stigma, advocacy, and they are also a member of the Ghana Country Coordination Mechanism of the Global Fund. We also have Hope for Future Generations, HFFG, which is into economic empowerment of women, hygiene, sanitation, human rights, disability, sexual and reproductive health issues, advocacy on violence against women. HFFG, Hope for Future Generations, is also a member of the Country Coordination Mechanism of the Global Fund. Then we have our national partner, which is the National TB Program, responsible for TB control in Ghana completely. Is the strategic planning arm of TB control in Ghana Health Services, implementation, monitoring, doing research, and strategy development in the country. So these are our partners on the table today to engage the committee, the select committee on health. I will go straight to mention our purpose of the engagement, which is stated in 6 bullets. We want to bring the knowledge of TB, actually, like you said earlier, whether we have been engaging maybe Parliament on TB. Yes, we have had situations where we engaged then TB Caucus of the Parliament. So there were a lunch, a media lunch here in the Parliament House. Today, we hope that this engagement brings TB as a disease to the floor of Parliament through the committee. We want to present the UN high-level meeting targets that the President of the Republic went to sign on to in New York in the year 2018, specifically in September, to the House of Parliament. We want to use the opportunity to present the challenges of ending TB in Ghana to the committee, so they can appreciate the state of affairs as far as TB funding, especially TB case finding and treatment is in the country. We want to have the opportunity to discuss the role the committee can play in addressing the challenges there are in ending TB in Ghana, targeting 2030, and especially trying to work around the clock to help achieve the targets which the President, His Excellency, went to sign on to in 2018 for the country. We want to use the opportunity to identify how we can form and launch parliamentary TB caucus in this current parliament by next month, April 2022. And by the time we leave in the next few minutes, it is possible to develop some simple roadmap on how we can engage the committee continually to addressing the challenges of TB control in the country. Having said this, I will ask our program manager to take us through an overview of the TB response in the country and state clearly the challenges there are that the program is facing. Thank you, Chairman.
So I'm doing this presentation with the backing of my colleague here, Dr. Stephen Isiado, who is the National AIDS STI Control Program Manager, because issues that are affecting TB are also affecting HIV. And just to make a point that this is an opportunity on our board that on Thursday, 24th of March, in World TB Day, the theme is invest in TB, save life. Talking more about it. It's all enshrined in my presentation. So what is tuberculosis? We have in Samoa. What is it? It's a germ, it's a bacterium, and it commonly affects the lungs. As you can see there, it's called a bacillus because of its shape. It is spread from person to person and through these germs dissolve in air, so we call it aerosol. And when somebody coughs or sneezes or speaks louder, the person transmits this. And it is not transmitted by eating with somebody who has the disease with spoons or cups. or eating with somebody, I mean, it is not, it's in the air. It is transferred through the air and you inhale it. 5 to 10% of individuals who will develop, when they inhale this, will progress to clinical disease. 5 to 10% when they inhale. And it takes between 1 to 2 years for the person to have that symptoms. What it means is that if you take 100 persons, about 20 of them, when they inhale this gel, later on will start coughing. Sometimes they cough with blood, with chest pains, they sweat profusely at night, and then they have fever, they feel hot inside, and they begin to lose weight. And it takes between 1 to 2 years. Between 90 to 95%, it will be stored in the lungs as latent TB. We say that the person has the infection but has not developed the disease yet. It can be there throughout the lifetime of that person, but when the immunity comes down, maybe the person starts drinking, maybe the person starts not eating well, maybe the person gets HIV. In addition, when the immunity breaks down, the TB also comes up. Whenever they say in our proverb that whenever the elephant falls, a bonbia to be bonbia. Now, site of infection, where commonly the TB bacillus is hidden in the lungs, but it can progress to everywhere. If it goes to the brains, we have what we call TB meningitis. It goes to the testicles, the person has low sperm counts, infertility comes in, sets up. If it goes to the ovaries, infertility for the woman, everywhere, it can go to everywhere, part of the body. The gene expert has components. This is the main cartridge center. This is the computer. After 2 hours, results come here and it's picked up. This is our first line of diagnosis in Ghana. When I was in the medical school, it was the microscopy that we used to diagnose. First line, as quickly as possible within 2 hours. We also have our digital X-ray that also has artificial intelligence. So it can predict the probability of somebody getting tuberculosis. Without the reading of a radiologist, a specialist, it can help. This is what we call our midget. It has come to replace the Louis Jensen's group. That is what we use to culture TB. Now this is an artificial video we call midget. We have about 5 in country that helps us do that. So we have the state of the art to diagnose TB. This is what we call the line probe assay. The whole set is called the line probe assay. That diagnoses rifampicin and isoniazid. These are medicines that we use. So the person can be resistant to that, and then we move to a certain another set of medicine because the person will be resistant to that. Control of TB in Ghana. Therefore, how do we control TB in Ghana? It is aligned with the mandate of the TB program, the mandate and the goals. So this is how we go about it. The mandate of the program is to provide leadership and to coordinate, maintain standards when it comes to the fight against TB control. Is to maintain leadership, coordinate the national response, ensure maintenance of standards. So we, together with civil society, together with NGOs, private practitioners, civil society, Kwesi facilities, public facilities, migration, cross-border case detection, we do that. We also make sure that we have policies and technical guidelines for diagnosing TB. If somebody wants to diagnose TB, the person must have a screening tool. That is an SOP. You need to systematically ask certain questions. And just as we are here, honorables, to secure political commitment. So, maintenance of standards. Standard with respect to laboratory standards. Medicines. You cannot go to a pharmacy and ask for that you have TB, you want to buy medicine. They have been ring-fenced.
That is standard, and we produce it as from a particular manufacturers. Surveillance, case detection, case management, contact investigations, infection prevention control. These are standard, they are standard way of doing it, and that's what we do. Honorables, the epidemic of TB is generalized in Ghana. We don't say that the northern region, there are more TB cases than Greater Accra or than Ashanti region because of the population. No. Anywhere that you find a lot of TB cases, what it means is that the resources are good. They have the machines, they have the personnel to diagnose cases, and not because the burden is higher somewhere than the others. So how do we control it? First, when the baby is born, we give BCG, which is very important. It protects the baby, especially those under 2 years. And it can go to up to 10 years. It doesn't mean that the baby or the child will not have TB, but the complications of TB is what they will avoid. Now, still on the control of TB, we want to reduce TB incidence in Ghana. We want to reduce mortality. And TB is a pro-poor disease. So we want to reduce catastrophic cost due to TB. So these are our objectives, to screen early and all that. So these are the strategies we have been using now. The first one is intensify case finding. Whenever somebody was in the hospital, and they come and tell you that I have headache, I have waist pain, the person, the health practitioner is taught to also ask for whether you are comfortable, whether you have pain, whether anywhere, whether you have chest pain and all that. Symptoms associated with TB. Anytime you actively do that, we call it intensified case finding, and you record it on a screening tool. Spiritual transportation. I inform you that the gene expert is the first line of diagnostic testing. It is not everywhere in Ghana. In fact, if you take the 260 districts, only about 50% of the machines of the district have gene experts. And therefore, one of the strategies we have been using is the switching transport. In other words, where we don't have the gene expert, we transport the switching to these sites, from sites that we do not have to sites where we have. We also are engaged in bi-directional testing for COVID-19 and TB. Honorable members, we are getting a lot of cases because the symptoms of TB and COVID are similar. And therefore, we did a test, a pilot study in Greater Accra, where 206 patients reported they were suspected of having COVID-19. We said that we would test all these patients for TB. Surprisingly, 13% of these patients had tuberculosis, 9% had COVID-19. So, TB is hiding in COVID. So that is bi-directional testing. Contact investigations. When somebody is diagnosed of having TB, we follow the person to the community. And then because the person lives in the household, we screen the household members. And then for those who don't have TB, we put them, because they have been exposed, because they were living with that person who had TB, we said they have been exposed, they might have had the latent infection, and therefore now we treat. For those who have TB, we treat them according as having TB. Community screening, that's why our civil societies are here, they support that. So this is the intensified case finding I mentioned. This is a girl who has come, maybe complaining of lower abdominal pain, a school girl, maybe her menses. But then the health practitioner is asking her again, in addition to all that, are you also coughing and elicit the TB symptoms? We have our algorithm that we follow. This is the screening tool that we have been using. Systematically, anytime the person walks in the health facility, we ask the person. We can also use this in the communities. That is why our civil society members are using. Thank you. So this is the spiritual transportation I'm talking about. These are the mapping that we have done. Okay, this is the bi-directional testing and all that I have mentioned. And so we test for both that. This is the contact strategy we are talking about. And then the community. So we have our vans that go into the community for that. And we have our NGOs that also support in the community. And then, so here we are committee members. These are the medicines that we use. We practice polypharmacy because the bacillus cannot be played with. So we have a lot of medications, but if you have resistance, we go as many as 8 medications for that purpose. So this is the support that we give our patients. We give them a needless package support because TB is a pro-poor disease. The policy is that you are enrolled on free anytime if you have TB. Okay. And so these are where we can get a lot of cases, mining areas, prisons, immigrations, and all that. The president in 2018 went to the United Nations Assembly. This is where the gaps is. And he was giving targets. Target for diagnosing cases, target for TB preventive therapy, target for multi-drug resistant TB, target to diagnose children who have TB. And then, so what are the gaps now? In 2021, these are the gaps, as you can see here. We achieve for diagnosing TB, we achieve about 60%. But for TB preventive therapy, we enrolled about 88%. And then, as you can see, the figures here. So what is the way forward? As I indicated, 50% of gene experts in Ghana. So the rest of the district, we need a gene expert. And then we need continuous supply of the cartridges. These are resources that we need. Okay, and then we need the government of Ghana. Government of Ghana has procured 55 digital X-rays. It's also in the process of procuring 150 for phase 2 of finding TB cases. It's at the Ministry of Finance now. So the World TB Day again, 24th of March. Thank you.
I'm sorry that you have to guess, but these are the questions. Is it possible for CSO to make a statement on TB on the floor of Parliament? Is it possible? If it is possible, what is the procedure like?
We are your representatives. So the World TB Day, if you want us to initiate an agenda, what you have to do is to make a statement and submit it to us, and then we will speak on that for you on the World TB Day. And we can do this every year, and it's a partnership between you.
That's so easy to get the picture. And then we look, is it also possible for the select committee? So okay, I think that is also answered with the other provider. Then we have, what role can the committee play in advocating for increased funding for the we also want to know how can we get a TB caucus of members of parliament formed. We used, in the previous parliament we had one, but that has also been dissolved. And then the final one, can the leadership of the committee lead partners to engage finance committee or any other body that the committee deems necessary, all in an attempt to ensure that we are able to address the funding gap that exists in achieving the targets we have set as a country. So at least we wanted to hear from
you are welcome. Thank you. The other agencies that came to you, how is it going with your activities in this space? I mean, all of you are working on advocacy in terms of stopping TB or stop TB. Dr. Iziato, how is the incidence of HIV-related association or adverse, converse relationship with the TB?
Thank you very much, Honorable, for the opportunity. Indeed, 14% of HIV clients have tuberculosis. And that is why HIV management is incomplete without looking at TB as a comorbidity. Because of suppressive immunity, we cannot take care of the person with HIV without factoring in tuberculosis. My presence here is just to add to the voice to indicate that to reduce the morbidity and mortality associated with persons living with HIV, we need to treat tuberculosis. And therefore, we are collaborating with the program to provide what we call the TB preventive therapy for all the persons living with HIV who have been screened and found to be without TB, so they are negative. And this is a form of prophylaxis somehow. Like we have to provide TB preventive therapy. This was not in our current funding in the past. And once we accepted this as a policy, we needed to sustain it. I mean, it's very clear that antiretroviral therapy has been a game changer now. We have over 245,000 people living with HIV on treatment now, out of the 345,000 who are living with HIV. So people are surviving. And as they survive, one of the big issues is compliance. So once they get tired, they abandon the medication and resort to herbal medication, go to prayer camps and all that. And then they start developing these opportunistic infections again. And so we are adding our voice to the call for your continued support. We really recognize in HIV your great support already and leadership. And this is just to say that the two conditions are being looked at together because it's one individual, and how we can collaborate to leverage resources to make sure that we are more efficient to be able to tackle the two epidemics together. That is the reason, and that is what I would say, and we look forward to your continuous contribution and support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So, Doc, the clerks would speak with you. We'll have a different session with you, and I'm sure the AIDS Commission will have different sessions with you so that we can be able to work together. Please, the agencies that came along with Stop TV, is anybody want to make a contribution?
Yes, so just thank you very much. Just to add to what the Paisila said, that we're looking at TB and HIV. And from the presentation of Dr. said discussed right now, TB alone has about $40 million funding that. And I know Global Fund and other partners are also supporting the government. The government is also putting in a lot of resources. But it is also important that we work together and see how we can get some resources and the domestic resources, which everybody is talking about now, to support this gap funding. That is one reason why we do it.
If you want us to continue this meeting, I'm very happy.
So, without calling on you, strategically, the chair of Stop TV talked about it. We work together with the health committee. Periodically, we engage you to see how we can look at domestic resources from different levels to support TB and HIV. When we engage with Parliament and TB, we see the strategy. I work with the Global Fund, and there are a number of things that I engage you sometimes ago. So we see how we can work together. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that's also fairly, everybody has spoken. Okay, last one, sir.
Right, thank you very much, Chair. And I think one critical thing that we also want to draw attention to has to do with stigma and discrimination that is related to people who are being infected or affected by TB. I think that there has been a stigma index study carried out last year that showed that stigma is still high within our community settings, especially with persons who are living and affected by the disease. It is something that the TB Voice Network, which is a network of cured TB patients, are working so hard to make sure that we reduce the incidence of stigma that is related to TB. This is as a result, a lot of people are dying at the prayer camp. People are hiding because the fear of being pointed out in the community that this family had TB is still high on the agenda. And I think that as part of this committee, I want the committee members to be an ambassador to reduce stigma, especially within our community. Our members are dying due to stigma. So we are working hard, and it's an opportunity for us to engage you more, and then also need your support. And then we share the stigma in the study with the committee to look at it and see the best way we can collaborate as well. Thank you, Chair.